Yoruba Nation movement writes Tinubu says Nigerian police DSS orders illegally arrest Southwest youth, treat them as terrorists. Good day to you, my dear listeners. Here is another interesting news coming to our listening ears. As the Yoruba Nation movement writes, Tinubu says Nigerian police DSS and others illegally arrest Southwest youth and treat them as terrorists. Moving to the full details, kindly please ensure you like, subscribe to this channel and share. The Yoruba Self-Determination Movement (YSDM) has accused Nigerian security agencies of treating Yoruba youth as terrorists, subjecting them to unlawful arrest and extortion. This was stated in a letter dated May 25, 2025, written by Prof. Senator Adebanji Akintoye, the national leader of the movement, and addressed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The letter raises grave concerns about the Nigerian police, the Directorate of State Security (DSS), and other federal agencies handling of Yoruba youth across the Southwest, Kwara and Kogi states. According to the statement, these federal agencies tend to view all Yoruba youth as insurgents or terrorists. They therefore often abuse the human rights of Yoruba youth by arresting them without just cause, detaining them in police cells, and then forcing them to pay money for their release. The letter asserts that the unlawful act are a deliberate tactic aimed at intimidation to discourage Yoruba youth from pursuing self-determination. It further states, it is obvious that the Nigerian police and other security agencies believe that it is their duty to treat Yoruba youth in these unlawful ways in order to intimidate the youth and thereby compel the youth to abandon their quest for the self-determination of their Yoruba nation. The examples of the outrages against Yoruba youth are too many to be listed in this short fraternal letter, but we assure you, Your Excellency, that these human rights abuses occur frequently and in all parts of Yoruba land. In fact, there have been instances in which DSS operatives, when they could not find a young man, arrested and detained his wife and child. Your Excellency, in your exalted position as President of Nigeria and major factor in today's international order, you know very well that self-determination is a right, an inalienable right of all indigenous nations of the world. You know that these inalienable rights are enshrined in the laws of the international community and spelled out in many important international conventions and declarations, United Nations Charter, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, ICESCR, United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, 2007 African Charter of Human and People's Rights. You know that Nigeria is a signatory to all of these international laws, and that, therefore, all these international laws are part of the laws of Nigeria. The final meaning of all this is that peaceful act by any Nigerian to assert and retrieve the self-determination of any Nigerian people who do not contravene the laws of Nigeria. Recalling the massive rallies in 2021, the group insists each of the rallies was peaceful and law-abiding. There was no injury to any person and no damage to any property, and the police did not need to caution or arrest anybody. Prof. Akintoye warns that the continued harassment risk pushing the generally peaceful Yoruba youth into violent reactions. Recalling historical uprisings, Yoruba youth, though now generally peaceful out of defense to their elders and their culture, can explode in reaction if they continue to be pushed. The letter also highlights the worrying admissions by top Nigerian security officials, acknowledging the state's inability to protect citizens, quoting statements such as, "Don't expect us, army, police, others to protect you." Each person should protect himself and each community should mobilize to protect itself, from the DSS Director General. In a response, the letter urges President Tinubu to intervene swiftly. "Mr. President, you need to intervene speedily in this, particularly before the harassment of Yoruba youth gets out of hand." The Yoruba Self-Determination Movement calls on the President to respect the right of Yoruba youth to peacefully protest and demands that the government facilitate negotiation for Yoruba's nation's peaceful separation from Nigeria. "Please grant us, your Yoruba people, that which we have asked for, that you as the President of Nigeria should facilitate negotiation between representatives of the Nigerian federal government and of our Yoruba people for the purpose of negotiating our Yoruba nation's peaceful separation from Nigeria." Concluding the letter, Professor Akintoye frames the message as one of love and urgent appeal. "Your Excellency, as you would by now have perceived, the motivation for this letter of your Yoruba people to you is love. Love for you as a talented Yoruba son, love for all Yoruba people, love for the integrity and dignity of our Yoruba culture. The letter demands immediate action, warning that continued neglect could lead to catastrophic consequences for Nigeria and the wider West African region." My dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news. Kindly please ensure you like, subscribe to